So is Germany going to let me stay? Today I'm going to talk about my residence permit issues I've been having and how I'm learning German. Hey everybody! Welcome back to our channel. I'm Sarah.
Hey, and I'm Kevin.
And we're the McFalls, a family of 6 with 4 kids.
And a cat and a hamster.
Yes!
We got a hamster.
We got a hamster.
Ginger.
Ginger is her name.
Very cute.
And she's Griffin's hamster. He's our 3rd son. And yeah, the kids are really excited. And she's very cute. Or he, we're not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Gender fluid hamster.
we don't know what it is. So anyway, today we wanted to talk about my immigration issues, my residence permit issues that started in May of last year. Now, really quick to back up, before we decided to come to Germany, we have a video on this and I'll link it in the description box below of how all of us were learning German before we got here. We talk about how Kevin and Grayson were learning German, and I was using Lingoda. And it is an online learning platform where you have classes in person with 5 or less people. And I did about a month of classes before we ever arrived. And it gave me such a great start and a good baseline so that when I arrived, I knew like enough to be able to, I wasn't totally lost and I could go to the bakery and go to the grocery store and communicate on a basic level. I think I took about 25 classes before I arrived. Anyway, so that's part of the story.
So when I got hired, my company contracted Fragaman to help me with the immigration process. And so before we came, we submitted all of our documents. We got pre-approved. We got approved for our visa. We didn't actually have them in hand, but we got a letter from the consulate that said that we were going to get them. We had all of that in place before we came. But then when we got here, we had to actually get our residence permits to allow us to stay and work here.
Kitty wanted to come and be part of the video, so look at the camera, Peanut. She doesn't really want to be here, do you? Come. You're like, I wanted to be in the room with you, but I didn't want you to pick me up.
She's not a lap cat, really.
No.
So then when we arrived, we had to go and visit the immigration office in our local Kreis.
Peanut's like, excuse me, my followers want to see me.
So we had to go to our immigration interview. And it was really nice, actually, that we had Fragaman to help us to go through that process. But then that took a couple months after we arrived in February. And then I think it was in April, we got our residence permits. And one of the very curious things was that me and the kids got our residence permits valid for 4 years. And Sarah only had approved for 1 year. So,
and that was like in May.
Yeah, it was April.
He came to our house. Yeah. The agent came to our house and said, okay, I've got residence permits for everyone but Sarah.
Well, you did have one, but just
for 1 year. So the rest of you can stay for 4 years, but Sarah, you've got to take. So he sat us down at the table and he's like, all right. You know, you could tell he was about to give me some bad news. And he was like, because my visa, my residence permit is a work permit. I'm allowed to work here in Germany because I came here with my blog and the YouTube channel. I already had my own business. So I had to get a work permit in order to continue working here, even online, you know. So we think that's the difference, but we're not totally sure. He sat us down at the table with this look on his face and I thought, oh crap, what's coming? And he's like, Sarah, it's a good possibility that you're going to have to take, Peanut's still back here.
Yes, you heard her purring.
You're going to have to take a 600-hour integration and language course in order to get your residence permit. And you're going to have to start that this fall. You know, that would be this past September. Start that in September and take it for the next year. And I was like, 600 hours? And do I have to complete that, between September? No, you just have to start it. And he was like, you just have to start it and you have several years to be able to do it. So, at first I didn't really understand what that meant. Like, how is it broken down? How many days a week? So I was just like, well, okay, that doesn't sound good, but whatever. So he said, go to your local, and I'm going to hope I pronounce this right, Folkhögskola, yeah, your local community center, and you need to sign up for the integration course, the classes. So Kevin helped me. He made the appointment for me. He called them and got me an appointment. I went and met with them. You have to do like a 15-minute German language test. I was between A1 and A2. And she said, well, I don't have any spots in the A2 course, so you're going to have to take the A1 and start from the very beginning, which I was like, I know how to say all the basic things. I don't want to start from the beginning. But anyway, she's like, that's all I have space for. And you're going to have to come 5 days a week, 3 hours a night from October through next July. And I was like, what? You have no other options. This is the only option you have. Yes. I mean, she said, yes, you could call other Folkhögskola in your area, see if they have other offerings, but all of them are going to be 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. It just depends on where during the day, morning, afternoon, or evening. And like, while I was there, it was such a shock that I didn't really process it. But I left the office, I took the train, had my sunglasses on and my mask, and I just started crying. I cried the entire way home because I started to realize I was going to miss 10 months of family dinners during the week.
And bedtime.
10 months of putting our kids to bed, which, okay, that's not like the most fun job in the world. It's hard. But still, our kids, that's our time to connect with our kids and really bond with them before they go to sleep. And I don't want to, even though sometimes it's hard for us, I still want to be there and do it because it's special moments that we spend with our children. And Kevin would have to be doing it all by himself, putting 4 kids to bed for the next 10 months.
Making dinner and all
making dinner, taking Grace into ice hockey practice. If any of the other kids want to do sports, he would be happy to take them too, which probably wouldn't be possible. I was hoping to start taking dance classes again. I'm a dancer and I really want to get back into dance and be able to meet more people in the community. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is going to greatly affect not just me, but my entire family. Basically, the integration course, it's as if my whole family has taken it with me, right? And I just cried the whole way home thinking of this. But at the same time, what was happening was my license was also expiring from the US. In the US, some states have a reciprocity agreement with Germany. So like the state where Kevin has his original license, Virginia.
Driver's license.
They have a reciprocity agreement with Germany because there's so many diplomats and dignitaries and things from the U.S. who come from Virginia.
The District of Columbia borders Virginia,
Yes.
And a lot of the diplomats live in Northern Virginia.
Yeah. If you come from Virginia to Germany, then you don't have to do anything. You just
trade in your driver's license.
But I come from Georgia. So it's really kind of a silly agreement because if you're going to allow one state from the U.S. to have an agreement with Germany, then really all the states should, because the driver's license tests are not that much different. It's the same driving laws and rules from state to state. And so anyway, I'm unlucky because I'm from Georgia. So I have to take the entire driver's course here in Germany. I have to take the written test. I have to do 5 driving tests with an instructor. I have to take a 6-hour CPR course. We had to get my driver's license translated. I have to get another picture made. Okay, that's not a big deal, obviously, but
You have to get your eyes tested.
I have to get my eyes tested at the doctor. Learning all of that at the same time. Like, oh my gosh, I have just lost my license. I can't drive here anymore. And now I'm going to be having to go to this 5-day-a-week, 3-hour course for the next 10 months. And I was so upset. I came home and I just cried to Kevin and I was like, is this even worth it? It's been hard for the kids to integrate into learning German. Getting them into the right gymnasium was a really big deal and a headache. Just as immigrants, it makes it so much harder. And we had finally gotten over a lot of the school hurdles, which if you haven't watched all our school videos, I'll link that playlist in the description box below. But it was a big hurdle getting all the kids settled into their different schools from kindergarten all the way through gymnasium. And then I lose my license. I can't drive anywhere. And I'm going to be going to these integration courses for the next 10 months.
And then another really weird consequence of the 1-year visa that contributed to all of this weird stuff going on was her health insurance. that,
Oh, yeah.
I got insured through TK and got all the kids on TK because they're my dependents. And then I applied.
That's the public German health insurance for Americans.
Yeah, one of the different companies that gives the German public health insurance. And so then I applied to have Sara join me on the plan as a dependent. But then they ended up asking about her income, which she does have a substantial income from her blogs and everything. And it was above the limit of what you can be considered as a dependent. So she couldn't apply as a dependent on my plan. But then oh, that's fine. We'll insure her on her own plan with her own income. So that's fine. And then we send in all the paperwork. And I thought it was done deal. And then they come back and well, no, we can't insure her because she only has a 12-month visa. And, they would only insure her if she had a multi-year visa. And so then she couldn't get the German health insurance. And so then we had to get her private insurance, which we did. We ended up getting her private insurance. Although now when we're coming up on her renewal, the Fragaman people are wondering whether the immigration folks are going to be okay with this particular private insurance that I bought. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I tried to get her on the German insurance, but it's this catch-22. You can't get on the insurance unless you have a multi-year visa, and you can't get a multi-year visa until you have your proof of your health insurance. So we're still trying to work all of that out. But all of this happened at the same time. Mm-hmm. The health insurance problem, the driver's license problem, and the integration course, all this is hitting at the same time. And
so that's why I was so emotional. Just the stress of that past 4 or 5 months of getting the kids all settled, and then all of these issues happening it felt like Germany didn't want me here. The government was like, sorry, you're going to have to go back. So I was like, am I going to get sent back to the U.S. and the rest of my family stays here? Obviously, I don't think Germany's ever going to do that. That sounds ridiculous. But I was freaking out and I was so upset. So I signed up for the course because I thought I had no choice. This is the government. This is immigration office. You got to do what immigration says, right?
Well, and we asked our guy at Fragaman to push back a little bit and ask, and we had him go back a couple of times, to show that she was a college graduate. That apparently makes some difference. Yeah. And so we got some documentation. He went back a couple of times to the immigration office, but he kept saying, well, they're pretty insistent that she has to do the integration course. So we're trying to get an exception, but it didn't work.
Peanut agrees.
It's crazy, isn't it, Peanut?
I know, it's crazy. I thought I just had no choice, right? I'm just going to have to go along with this. I'm going to suck it up and we're just going to figure it out. Before I got on the train, I actually got on my Instagram stories, which if you're not following us on Instagram and you want to see behind the scenes of these YouTube videos, you want to see the more everyday life stuff, like just last night, we introduced the kids to raclette for the first time, and I put it in our Instagram stories and showed you guys what they thought of raclette. So if you want to see the things that don't always make it into YouTube videos, follow us on Instagram. So this was on Instagram stories. I was in the middle of the town that's close by. It has the Volksschule.
Volksschule, yeah. That's good. That's pretty good.
And I was on the stories and I said, this is just what I was told. I have to take, 10 months, 5 days a week, 3 hours a night of these courses. A whole bunch of Germans came back and said, what? That is insane. We know you're integrated. We see it in your YouTube videos. We see it here on Instagram. You don't need this course. This course is not for someone like you. It's for people who aren't getting naturally integrated, who are just sort of staying at home, speaking their own language, sticking to themselves, not being part of German life and culture. You can fight this. And then I was like, really? I can? Well, how? How do I fight this? And then I also posted in some Facebook groups that I'm in, which are for immigrants and expats who live in Germany from all around the world. And I said, here's my situation. Does anybody know what I could do? So many people said, oh, yes, you can fight this. And then other people said, no, you just have to accept it. So I listened to the ones who said you could fight it. They said, write a letter to let's see if I can get this right. Ausländerbehörde, the immigration office.
Ausländerbehörde, yeah.
Ausländerbehörde. Write to that office and tell them your situation. I was so overwhelmed, I still couldn't even wrap my head around what to write and how to write it and how do I write it professionally so that they take me seriously and don't think I'm just some dumb immigrant who doesn't know what I'm doing. So I started asking our friends around here, and I reached out to one of our friends who the wife is German and the husband is American, and he moved here 7 years ago. They've already been through this process with her husband. She was amazing. And if you're watching this video, thank you again. She said, Sarah, I know exactly what to do. I know what they want from you. Here's what we're going to do. Write a letter. She said, you go ahead and write it, and then I'll edit it and make it sound business professional, German business professional. Write a letter and tell them that you're a mom of 4, that your children need you home to help with the integration, that you are an essential part of your children's integration. And right now, it is essential that your children are integrated well into the schools and are learning German well, because their education right now is paramount. And you need to be home because in the evenings, they've got ice hockey, they've got dance lessons, they've got friends, in the summertime, they're always outside playing in the neighborhood. And I'm talking to the neighbors and, we're mostly talking German, and we do talk in some English. And sometimes I'm going to dinner with friends in the nicer months, and we're involved in the community after school. And
being gone every night for 3 hours would prevent you from doing all those things, prevent you from integrating, right?
And that was sort of the irony of the whole integration course. I know it's not like this for every immigrant that comes here, but for me, the integration course was actually going to hold me back from integrating. When I knew I could learn German on my own, because I've already done it with Lingoda. So she said, let them know also that you work and you're here on a work visa, you have your blog, you have your YouTube channel. Being gone in the evenings is going to make it harder to work during the days. Kevin would be like a single dad in the evenings, right? As if I'm not here. So it just puts a huge burden on our family. So she said to write all of this in a letter. She helped me with the grammar and made it sound really professional. It was just absolutely invaluable having her perspective, because she knew what the Ausländerbehörde, what they are wanting, what would
resonate well with them and help them make the decision.
Because I just had no clue. Right. I sent it by email, and I also sent it in the mail physically. And we sent it to our contact that we had already had through the visa company, Fragment. After I sent it, about 2 weeks later, I was just on pins and needles waiting to hear back from them. Heard nothing for 2 weeks, nothing. And then I got COVID. This was 3 weeks after I got my second vaccination, I got COVID. But a lot of people in Ella's kindergarten got COVID at the same time. It was going around her kindergarten. So I got COVID. But it was a mild case. I was right here in this bed for 2 weeks solid. I was exhausted. It's amazing that Kevin never got it. But I did self-quarantine in here and everything. Anyway, so after 1 week in bed and being sick, I knew that the course was starting the next week. And I was really quite happy because I had COVID. So I couldn't start the integration course. I thought, well, at least I get 1 more week off of the integration course. I don't have to start right away because I got COVID. The day before the course was to start, a guy named Derek from the office called and was like, Hallo, es ist Derek from the Ausländerbehörde, whatever. And then you started speaking in really fast German. And basically I could understand. I'm laying here in bed with COVID, trying to understand him. And I could understand that I'm pretty sure he just said, I don't have to take the class. I'm pretty sure he said I could learn on my own, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, can I just get my husband on the phone because he speaks better German than me? And I gave you the phone.
I talked to him and he's like, yeah, Sarah doesn't need to do the integration course, but we do need to get her to B1 level in speaking German, and that she can follow whatever online courses of her choice to be able to do that. And then eventually we'd have to take the placement test and get tested, that she's at B1 level.
Next August.
Well, yeah, that we'd have to do the test and see where you're at, and that we could give an extension perhaps if you weren't all the way there, but we needed to show that she's making progress towards getting there, and that she'll get there soon. So that was quite a big relief.
So I was laying in the bed, just like watching him on the phone, like, please tell me what I thought I actually heard, I was just like, please, please, please. And yeah, so that was it. I got out of it. He's like, yes, we understand. You're a mom of 4. This isn't going to work for you. I was like, really? It was that easy? I have spent like 3 months, 3 months worried about this integration course. And all I had to do was write a letter. Thankfully. So thank you, German government. You understand the needs of families and moms. We really appreciate it. Well, actually, at the same time, Lingoda actually had reached out to us about a month before this, last summer, and they've been wanting to sponsor our videos for quite a while. And I kept saying, yes, I want to do this, but I just never could get on top of it.
Yeah, because I mean, you'd used Lingoda before you even came and you liked it and it worked for you. And now, boom, you need to have an online training for German. There they are, served it right up to you.
It was like the universe, just all the pieces finally came together. And I was like, except for the driver's license.
Yeah, we still got to work on that.
That's okay. I can take the train and bus and I can delay the driver's license thing. But I can't get sent back to the US and my family would be stuck here. So that's not going to work. Yeah, so thank you to Lingoda. They are the sponsors of today's video. And like I said, I started using them before. So this is a true, authentic sponsored video. I have loved Lingoda before all of this started happening.
Yeah. I mean, they really work for you. You like to have the accountability of meeting with somebody in person. You really like to connect with people.
Yeah.
You really enjoy having the class where you're talking with the teacher and everything, right?
Right. I did some of the online free apps and things to learn German. And I don't know. I need people. I really like still having a teacher. I guess I'm old fashioned or something. I'm also a people person. So I learn better with other people. So yeah, Lingoda is great. They have classes of 5 people or less with only native speakers as the teachers. So you always have a native speaker.
Dann Sara, Nummer 4.
Das Jahr beginnt am 1. Januar. Das ist B. Einste. Erste. Sorry.
Both is der erste.
Oh, it's erste. Okay.
Genau, der erste.
They have classes 24/7 in any time zone all over the world. They're 1 hour long. You can sign up for as many classes as you want or as few as you want. Doesn't matter. I'm doing sort of the long game here, trying to do consistent classes. My goal is to try to do 2 to 4 classes a week. Then I was doing that right before Christmas. And then, we were on vacation for 2 weeks and it was great to just be able to take 2 weeks off and not have to worry about it. Yeah. And now that we're back, I've signed up for classes again. So I just love Lingoda because it 100% works for my lifestyle. As a mom of 4, as a working mom, my schedule is all over the place. And even if the kids are home sick, or they have a day off, I can still work in a class. I shut the doors in my office and they know, like, okay, mom's having her class, and they usually don't bother me. But
unless they end up fighting with each other and screaming, and then you have to go do something.
And even if that does happen, I mean, all you have to do is mute your audio and the class doesn't have to hear my kids screaming in the background, even though I'm still distracted. But, regular life can still continue on in the background and I can still take my classes. And that is the kind of flexibility I need in a language learning program. And I've also seen my skills get so much better since using Lingoda. They've definitely helped me to learn more German.
Yeah, you've been going to more stores and having more confidence to go to places that you haven't been before and work it out. So yeah, it's so nice once you get that confidence to just go and try it, and then then it starts to snowball and you get better and better.
And I would say for other people who are thinking of moving to Germany, I know I get questions and emails, hey, I'm wanting to move to Germany. Do I need to learn German? And at least in our situation, I would say definitely learn as much German as you can before you get here, unless you're going to move to like downtown Berlin, where a lot of English is spoken. But you're going to need German, and it makes it a lot easier to integrate into the daily culture and to make new friends, which, I mean, especially when you're far away from family, friends are your lifeline in a foreign country. So it's so important to make friends, and having friends who are natives, who are locals, is even better because, man, our friends, almost all of our friends here are locals, are natives. Just 2 out of our whole group of friends are foreigners or Americans. The rest are all German.
Yeah.
And they have been invaluable in connecting us with, go to this store, go to that store, this community event's coming up,
Now it's wintertime, and I know some of the lakes around here freeze over and you can go ice skating on the lakes, but where do you find out this information? Which ones are open, or what are the best ones to go to? And, you really want the locals, your local friends, to be able to help you, be able to, give you advice on stuff like that.
And our friends down the street did. Yeah. Filled us in on which lake we're going to go ice skating on, maybe this weekend.
Well, now it's a fight between whether we go ice skating or skiing, now that kids like both of them.
We got our kids hooked on skiing this past weekend. Yes. Another thing is, with the 1 hour classes, there's no homework at the end, but if you want to take it a step further, they have quizzes that you can take, and they're pretty difficult. I've taken the quizzes and have gotten quite a few of the answers wrong.
You'll get there.
Yeah, and then other times I take the quiz and I've done great. So it just depends. So if you want to take it a step further and really expand your learning, you can do the quizzes. If not, you can just wait till the next class. So as always with sponsored videos, I will have a link down in the description box below. If you use our code, you will get 40% off the marathon course or 40% off your first month of Lingoda. So if you're wanting to learn another language, I know so many of you are Germans watching our videos and you guys are great at English. If you're wanting to learn French or some other language, we can definitely highly recommend Lingoda. Okay, so before we close out this video, I'm going to speak in German. And this way, you guys can help me with my pronunciation, with my grammar. I know you guys like to do that, and I'm allowing you to this time. Just be nice. Don't say you suck or anything like that. Please be encouraging. Please be nice. Peanut, I don't know. Does Peanut want to speak German too? Maybe. So in the next few months, I'll be tracking my progress with Lingoda. And so I'm going to start now by just saying what I can say off the top of my head without a translator, without Google Translate.
No preparation. It's not in your notes down there?
No, I mean, I have some things written down, but it's not like an entire paragraph. So I'm going to say what I can easily say in German. So you know my true level. And are you going to say some things too?
Sure. Ich kann auch sprechen Deutsch.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to do another video for Kevin to share how he's learned German because we're doing it two different ways. And that's what I like about all these online programs is each person can choose the method that works best for your personality and your learning style. And Lingoda is definitely the best for my learning style and personality. So you guys already know that our kids are speaking really good German. They've definitely surpassed us. Even Ella is starting to surpass us. Her pronunciation, I'm already blown away by her pronunciation. She'll say things and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like how German says it, All right, so here we go. You guys be nice, okay? Now I'm nervous. Okay. Ich heiße Sara. Wir haben 4 Kinder und eine Katze und ein Hamster. Ein maskulin.
Ja, ich weiß nicht. Wie alt ist die Kinder?
Sie sind 12, 10, 8 und 5.
Ja, genau.
Wir haben 3 Jungs und eine Tochter. Eine Tochter?
Nein, weiß ich nicht.
The declensions always mess me up. Einer. Yes, einen. Anyway, you guys let us know. I didn't write this down on purpose. I'm trying to do this from memory. Okay. Ich liebe tanzen und singen und spazieren. Wir wohnen in Südbayern bei Chiemsee.
Ja, Chiemgau, ja.
In der Chiemgau Alpen. Wait, Chiemgau Alpen.
Chiemgauer Alpen.
Chiemgauer.
Glaube ich.
Ja. Und bei Salzburg. Salzburg. Genau. Those S's in German, you have to say that. Salzburg. Das ist genug.
Ja.
That's what I can comfortably say. I mean, I can say more than that, but I can comfortably say that. And what I'm finding is, especially after the 2-week break we had, I thought maybe I would lose some of my German, and I was a little worried about that I would lose some of my German progress. But what I found is my brain actually just filed away the information better. And when I came back refreshed and excited to hear and speak German again. And I found that I was understanding even more conversations. Just the other day, when I went to pick Ella up from kindergarten, the teacher was telling me how they had gone bulb. They had gone bulbing. That's not how you say it in German, but she said bulb. They had gone sledding on a hill behind the kindergarten. And she was saying it all in German. I don't think she even realized, because a lot of times she will speak to me in English. And I don't even think she realized she was speaking only German to me. I didn't realize she was speaking only German to me. And then she sort of realized it. And then she tried to switch to English. And she's like, oh, I can't remember what the word is. And I was like, wait, but you've been speaking in German, right? Wasn't that in German? Yes. And so I was like, wow, the German was so easy for me to understand that I didn't even realize I was speaking in German and hearing German at that moment.
Yeah,
I thought, oh, this is good. This is good. I'm making progress. And it is getting easier and easier and easier to speak here. So, all right. So in 2 months, I'll come back with another progress update, and you're going to hear us speak German again. And we'll have another video where Kevin gets to speak. because he can hear and speak German very well. He makes phone calls in German.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. You have worked hard. You have worked very hard for it. And
Thank you, Swedish. Swedish
Yeah,
has really been
that's
a really big help.
You've worked really hard though too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have worked hard. So, all right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hearing my baby German. I hope it didn't like make your ears bleed too much. I'm sure my pronunciation was horrible. Oh,
You'll get there.
pronunciation is very difficult when you're learning language as an adult. Way better when you're a kid. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our video, and we will see you next week for another video. Peanut, say goodbye. Cheers. Cheers. Oh. She's not into that.
No.
So cheers, guys.
Cheers.